So your main instrument's guitar?
Yeah.
What first got you interested in playing the guitar?
My brother played the banjo,
Mm.
and I thought, I'll have some of that.
Yeah. You had a guitar that was tuned to a banjo.
I did. I cried when I found out that I was playing those banjo chords.
Right.
Yes, it was very upsetting. I was only 7 at the time.
So
No, actually, no, I was a lot older than that because I took it to church, and all the guitarists at church were playing all these different chords, and I was thinking, what on earth's going on there? And I suddenly realised my guitar was tuned to banjo tuning.
Oh no! So how long have you been playing with your guitar set up as a banjo?
Oh, I don't know, about 4 or 5 years probably. It didn't really matter particularly, but in the end, it seemed like the word. I remember I cried.
I bet you did. I would have cried as well.
I realised I'd learnt all these banjo chords which were completely useless when the guitar was tuned as it should be to a guitar.
So your brother brought home a banjo because he was in the RAF?
Yeah. I played ukulele banjo at first.
Right.
Then moved on to guitar.
Right.
When I was 7. I ukulele banjo when I was 6, guitar when I was 7.
Right. So what was the name of your first band?
It was The Ambassadors.
The Ambassadors?
Because it was a church band.
Name. Right.
It's a quote from the Bible, I can't remember where, but...
Right.
And then Embryo was my first rock band.
Oh.
It was a very cool name because it was the name of a Pink Floyd track.
Right. I mean, you've been a professional guitarist really ever since, haven't you?
Yeah, but self-taught. I never had lessons or anything. But just learnt from books, listening to records, listening to, working out tabs of my own, and just taking it from there, really.
So who would you say your guitar hero or heroes?
You, Steve.
Yeah, I know, apart from me,
Apart
obviously.
from you, obviously. Oh, Hank Marvin, Happy Hank.
Yeah.
When I was a kid watching The Shadows on the telly, that was the big thing. I wanted a...
With the glasses?
I wasn't worried about the glasses particularly, but I did like... he played a... He didn't play a Strat at first, he played a Burns Baldwin guitar.
Right.
Which was great, and I always wanted one of those. That was definitely the Shags, and then the Beatles, of course. And all that kind of, the Searchers, all those kind of bands of the era, Jerry and the Pacemakers.
Yeah.
What a terrible name that was.
Jerry
and the Mind you, I only discovered years after the Beatles were called the Beatles because they had the word beat. I just thought they just spelt the name incorrectly on purpose.
Yeah.
But I hadn't tweaked the fact that it was beat, as in beat music.
I guess it's just one of those words that you instantly recognise when it's written down, doesn't it? Beatles, but you never think Beatles. I guess they thought they were being very clever when they named themselves.
So clever that I didn't get it.
No, I didn't get it either.
I was only 10 when I started, so.
Yeah, but it never occurred to me until I've been listening to them for a couple of years.
It's a bit like their album, Rubber Soul.
Rubber Soul, yeah.
S-O-U-L and S-O-L-E. So soul as in soul
music. It's a very clever play on words.
Yeah, but it's...
Too clever.
Completely escaped me.
It's completely escaped me as well.
I must be thick. I'm probably thick.
So, what was your first electric guitar?
First electric guitar was, amazingly, a Fender Telecaster.
What, a real one?
Yeah, a real one, because what had happened was I'd been playing acoustic guitar and I fell in love with this salmon pink Fender Telecaster down at Chris Stevens Music Centre.
Right.
Which I think I paid 90 quid for. And if I'd still got it now, it'd probably worth about 9 grand.
Yeah, I know.
Like, stupidly, I hated the salmon pink, which was all chipped off.
I can forgive you for that.
So it all stripped off and it refinished in a sort of natural finish. That was my first sort of solid electric. I'd had a few electroacoustic guitars before then. My first guitar was a Rossetti Serenader,
right?
Which I think was 9 guineas. £9 and 9 shillings.
So going back to
I was probably 7 then when I had that.
Oh my word.
And I was in this very room, sitting on this very floor, and it was a 3/4 size guitar. And I was like a quarter-sized child, so it was like it was laying all over me. It seemed absolutely massive, These are the guitars you and I used to teach the kids to play the guitar at school with.
Yeah, 3/4 size.
But it seemed absolutely gigantic.
So you were how old at the time?
7.
You were 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you bought me my first. Well, you gave me my first full-size acoustic guitar when I was about 9, I think.
But, I think you had a guitar before that, didn't you?
Oh, I did, yeah. I had a guitar when I was about 4.
I remember taking you up to a music shop called Hodges and Johnson in Lee, and I remember saying to you, you were looking at the guitars, I said, oh, don't worry about those, I've got one indoors for you. And I didn't think any more of it, I thought you'd just forget. And all the way home, you were obviously thinking about it. When we got home, you said, Dad, you said you got a guitar in the loft, and I had to get this guitar out the loft and tune it up, and then I started teaching you. The rest is history.
The rest is history. Well, I mean, of course, you were one of the very first people in our entire circle of friends that had a home studio back in the 80s, and I just remember even at that young age, when I was 6 or 7, just seeing all the gear in your studio that we had on Canvey. I just used to love it, and I really pushed the buttons and programming the drum machine and that kind of thing, and I really loved all that. And the reel-to-reel, well, I had a reel-to-reel multi-track tape recorder in my bedroom.
Age 9.
It must have been bad. But I remember all my gear that I had with affection. Well, let's talk about your roots in country music, because that's kind of how you turned professional in the end, wasn't it, as a guitarist?
Yeah. Well, I'd met a guy called Vic Collins down at Chris Stevenson's Music Centre, and he was a pedal steel guitarist. He used to come out around here and practice, and then he was in a band called Tomahawk, and he got me a job with them, and they were a pro band, touring band, and before long I was pro with them and doing an album, you know.
But how old were you then?
I was 20 then. The lead singer was Tom Fricker, and he was like a really good country singer, very very well respected on the British circuit, and so you know, that's what got me into country. I mean, I knew nothing about country music. I mean, the first gig I did, I think we went down to, I did a gig in Silverend in Essex, but we went to Portsmouth, I think the night after, and I coming home in the van, I said to Tom, what do you think? And he said, well, you know, you're okay on rhythm, I don't like your lead playing much. I thought, well, don't beat about the bush.
No,
so we really think.
Don't spare my feelings.
But he was right. I mean, the type of lead playing you need for country stuff is this what we call majorish playing in sort of in a major scale, and all the stuff I knew was kind of minor scale.
Yeah, because your guitar, when you riff about on the guitar, it doesn't sound like I would if I was going to riff about on a guitar. It would sound like a teenager riffing about in his bedroom on a guitar.
Well, I mean, most teenagers, you know, start by doing blues pentatonic scales, you know, doing blues things because they're nice and easy. It's actually very hard to play in a majorish country way. Much harder. All the shapes are much harder, and the positions much harder than it is to sort of riff around in a blues sort of rock kind of vein. Which is
when I recorded There's a Fortune to Make, I knew I've got to get Dad involved with this because there's no way I'm going to be able to manage that. I could, but I would need to record it in several takes. I think all the songs in The Missing Well are they're a pastiche of different styles.
Oh, they are. Yeah. So they're great, Steve. They're great.
Thank you.
What a guy. No, it's brilliant. The Missing Well is brilliant. We love it. It's great. It's great.
I really like it.
No, it's great.
So, but your contributions on it are much appreciated. I love the Spanish stuff you do on the classical guitar as well. It's a total.
It's a bit of ham, isn't it?
It's a bit of ham, but we like ham though.
Yeah,
that's
well,
what we do.
Ham works when we're working with kids. That's what they need.
Yeah, well they
don't do subtlety. They do ham.
No, because it's when they hear the bits of guitar, it does make a difference because when the children hear the bits of guitar on the track, they all mime the guitar, and I think when they see you, the footage that we've got of you playing, because we've got the when we're taking the video while you're recording it, and I think the children are going to find that really exciting.
Say, who's that old bald bloke in your studio?
Okay, so that's my dad, and at that point they normally say, "Yeah, I thought he was your brother." Yeah, thanks.
We have had that, haven't we? There's going to be increasingly less likely, I think, now. Because I'm getting older and older. And
oh, you're right for an old boy, though. Can dare I ask how old you are?
You can. I'm 58 at the moment. Born in 1953.
53, still got it.
I'm 10 years younger than Tony Blackburn, exactly.
Right.
To the day.
Really? Tony Blackburn?
68. He's 68 and I'm 58.
He's 68?
Yeah, he is, yeah. At the time of recording this interview, we're looking forward to the first performance of The Missing Well.
Yes, the world premiere.
Where's it going to be?
It's going to be at Quarry Hill Primary School.
We're not actually at the school.
Not actually at the school. Quarry Hill Primary School are doing it, but we're going to use the local senior school, which has got a nice theatre in it.
Yeah, what's that called?
That's called the Grays School.
Catchy title.
Catchy title because it happens to be in Grays.
Oh, right.
Very good there, and and the children are busy painting scenery, making props, learning their lines. There's lots of paper mache all over the school at the moment.
Any sticky back plastic though?
No, there's no sticky back plastic. There's a paper mache well that's being built at the moment.
Right. Is it missing though?
I see what you did there. Yeah, no, I was just ignoring that. But and the sails as well for wave riders, they're absolutely brilliant because
This kind of windsurfing thing. Isn't it?
the windsurfing song, and because we've got, I think it's about 25 sails up on the stage. So we've got all these children armed with sails.
Armed, I like the expression.
With rigs, and they've got a very resourceful set of teaching assistants there, and they wrote to the parents and got the parents to send in loads of bamboo.
Right.
And and they've made all these sail rigs out of these bits of bamboo, and the children have made their own designs and painted them using fabric paint on the sails. So it's going to be great.
Well done, kids.
Yeah, well done. You're the best. Yeah, you're the best. Anyway,
Yeah.
Liz, it's a pleasure as always. Thank you, Father.
Thank you, Sam.